Hello guys, welcome to my channel where we make videos that cover all you need to know about medical doctors and medical students, and welcome to this episode of how to immigrate as a health worker. In today's video we're going to talk about how to immigrate and practice as a health worker in the United States in 2022, and this is for medical doctors, for nurses, pharmacists and medical lab scientists. So I initially wanted to make a video for just medical doctors, as I am one, but then I have a lot of colleagues that are health workers and are not medical doctors. They're nurses, pharmacists, medical lab scientists, and wanted to also know about this, and that's why I decided to do so. So it's more work on me, but I think it's worth it because I also learned in the process of researching. And for my guys, please, as I've done this like this, share it with your guys too. So it's not just for the doctors, it's for everybody. If you're new to this channel, please do well by subscribing and turn on the bell notification so you don't miss my new videos every week. I actually release 2 videos every week, one on Tuesdays, which covers all you need to know about immigration, and then the regular doctor videos on Saturdays. So please subscribe and turn on the bell notification so you don't miss my new videos. Now let's dive into today's video. I'll be making today's video under this outline, the introduction. I'm going to give you steps in the immigration process, and I'm also going to give some pieces of advice concerning that, and then I'm going to conclude. So for the introduction, the US is a world-leading country with profound opportunities for people who live and work there. And some of the benefits include the opportunity to work in world-class facilities which are up to date in management practices. So if you happen to work in the United States, you would really catch up, you would know what is happening. Another thing is they have a better salary structure. Not usually the best, but then for most people that are coming from developing countries, they offer way better than your country would under standard temperature and pressure. Then you could practice in other countries too, as you're being recognized in countries such as Australia, Bermuda, Canada for families, physicians, Cayman Islands and other places. If you happen to have your license from the United States and you're working there, it's easier for you to work in other countries too. But that's another thing. In case you want to move to another place, it's easier for you when you are licensed in the United States. There are other benefits too, but these are the ones I decided to capture here. I think they are convincing enough. So the good thing is that the United States still is lacking in the number of health workers to meet up to their health demands, and research has also shown that a significant number of those working the U.S. healthcare services are immigrants. About 16.4% of the U.S. health workers are foreign-born and even share almost the same number with the citizens of states such as New York, New Jersey, and California, which is good. So you are always needed. We are always needed. We are hotcakes. So the steps are: first, just qualify as a health worker, acquire a practicing license, and apply. You would have to qualify as a health worker before you can work as a health worker in the United States. So then you acquire a practicing license, because for most countries, even though you have your license as a qualified health worker, you cannot use that license to practice in the United States. They have their own licensing, and this covers everybody that is, every professional that is covered within the scope of my video. That's the doctors, the nurses, the pharmacists, and the medical lab scientists or medical lab technologists as it is. And after you've acquired the practicing license, you now apply for a job and then immigrate to commence practice. These are basically the steps. It's similar for all the health workers with some peculiarities, as we're going to see further down this video. So the first is qualification as an international graduate. The first step for the qualification is that you must graduate from a recognized medical school, and to see, especially for the doctors, to see if your school is being recognized, just check at the World Directory of Medical Schools website. I just give the link there, and all the links and relevant materials are in an ebook that's in the description section, so you can go through and you can click on the link to access all this. And then you should have done either a year of housemanship or internship at a reputable tertiary institution. It's very important you know that. Or should have worked for at least sometimes, especially for the medical lab scientists or technologists. You should have at least 3 years in a reputable medical laboratory for those who don't have the internship. The good thing is that for Nigeria, all these people, all these professionals usually undergo a compulsory 1-year internship or housemanship, and so they automatically qualify for that. And then also note that if you've been disqualified or expelled from medical school, or you've had any issues, legal issues, and you've not rectified them, you are automatically ineligible to write these exams or get licensed to practice. So please, if you have any issue with your medical school, sort it ASAP. Then for obtaining the license, which is the main job, you have to sit for the licensing exams. For the doctors, you have to write the United States Medical Licensing Exams, which is the U.S.A. For the nurses, you write the Nursing Council Licensure Exams, which is the NCLEX. For pharmacists, they write the Foreign Pharmacy Graduate Equivalency Exams, which is the FPGEE. And for the medical lab scientists or technologists, you write the American Society of Clinical Pathology International ASCPI examination. These are the examinations you sit for, and after you've passed, you get the license to practice. Now we're going to talk in details about each of these exams. I'll start with the U.S.A for the medical doctors. It has 3 steps: the step 1, step 2, and step 3, and each of them are scored over 300. The U.S.A step 1 is based on basic sciences, which includes anatomy, behavioral sciences, pharmacology, physiology, pathology, microbiology, and some similar courses. It's scored on a pass or fail basis. That's it. So you just see whether you've passed or failed. You don't see your score. Before it was being scored, but now it's just on the pass or fail basis. Passing U.S.A step 1 automatically qualifies you to write the step 2, which is based on clinical knowledge and skills and covers topics in internal medicine, obstetrics and gynecology, pediatrics, psychiatry, and surgery. You need to get at least 196 to pass, but will need to score at least 210 to stand a chance of getting a residency slot, as the average score is usually 245 over 300, so it's highly competitive. And then for the step 3, after step 2 you could apply for residency in the United States. You don't need the step 3. The step 3 is only needed when you're almost done with your residency program training in the United States. You need to pass the step 3 before you get the full license or full registration. You will become board certified, and that you need to have at least 198 to pass. A thing to note is that you need to get a high score, because after you've passed, so far as you've gotten 198 and above, you cannot resit the exams again. So it's not something that maybe you pass but you didn't pass impressively, you're going to write again. No, you will have to wait till it expires, and it's valid for 7 years. So that means if your score is not really good, despite the fact that you've passed, you have to wait till it expires after 7 years before you resit. So please just go for it. Try to get as high score as possible so that you stand a better chance, especially as an immigrant or a foreign trained medical doctor, to get a slot into residency. I listed some websites here that you could check to get more details on this, and then it's going to be in the ebook, so you just go through them. For the USMLE, the step 1 cost about $995, the step 2 cost $975, and the step 3 costs $895. There are centers for step 1, step 2 in Ghana, Kenya, South Africa, and Uganda. That's in Africa. But then you can check this website listed below to see other countries, especially for non-Africans. You check other countries where you can write the U.S.A exams. For the NCLEX exams, for the nurses who studied abroad, the cost is roughly around $200 and it's a computer-based exams. It's even a computer adaptive test which is tailored to give you questions based on your current ability level. So it starts with the basic ones, simple ones that you're supposed to pass first, then becomes more difficult. It continuously determines that your actual nursing ability is above the basic standard for passing. There's no time, there's no set number of questions, and the test lasts for as long as it takes to determine if you've passed or failed your competency test. So it's based on a pass-fail manner. There's no score. I shared the website that you could check for it. The only center for NCLEX in Africa is just in South Africa, but then I listed a website too that will help you to know other test centers that you could easily write the exams. Then for the FPGE, which is for the pharmacists, the FPGE does not actually give you a license, but then it enables you to be able to go into an internship, and after that you now get certified. So you go, after you've passed the FPGE, you do something like an internship for some particular hours. That's in the United States. And then after that, you could now write for the full licensure where you become board certified in the United States. And the exam is about 4.5, that's 4.5 hours, with a total number of 200 questions with a scaled passing score of 75. And there's usually pre-FPGE exams with 66 questions to help you practice before you take it. You could take it twice a year for $75. And then I left another link, 2 links to help you understand that for my pharmacist colleagues. For the ASCPI exams, that's for the medical lab scientists or medical lab technologists. Like the NCLEX, it is a multiple choice computer adaptive test. But this, you receive your results usually within 4 working days after exams. The first result you receive is a pass or a fail, then there's a subsequent breakdown on how you did with the detailed scores. I also left a website for more details, and it has a center in Lagos, Ikeja, luckily for my Nigerian counterparts, and that's the cost, about $215 in all countries, but some countries including Nigeria have a discount and pay only $90. So for my medical lab scientists, I think this is a very good package for you. I also left a website where you could see all the test centers in all over the world, so check again to confirm that based on where you stay. You also need to pass an English test. For the doctors, you need to pass the occupational English test as the OET, and you must have at least 350 in listening, reading, and speaking, and at least 300 in the writing subtest in one sitting. So you don't just write one and then subsequently meet up in one sitting. Target for 350, at least 350 in all of them. For the nurses, you could write the IELTS with an overall score of 6.5 and a speaking score of 7. So you should have 7 in your speaking scores. Instead, even if you have 6.5 and your speaking score is less than 7, you're ineligible. And then it's valid for 2 years. You also use the TOEFL, which is Test of English as a Foreign Language, with a score of at least 83 and a speaking score of 26. Some also use the Test of English for International Communication, which is a TOEIC too. For the pharmacists, you also need to do the TOEFL and have at least 22 in reading, 21 in listening, 26 in speaking, and 24 in writing. You should have an overall score of around 24 to qualify for that. And I'm not sure, maybe the medical lab scientists or technologists that have gone through this, you would be able to tell. But so far, what I had gone through, the English test is not required for you guys. I might be wrong, so you correct me in the comment section below. I'm looking forward to that. And for the English exams, the IELTS is about $140 to $310, depends. And in Nigeria, you have centers in Abuja, Cross River, Edo, Enugu, Kwara, Lagos, Oyo, and Rivers State. I dropped a link for you to see, for those not in Nigeria, to see where you could write the exams in other countries. For the OET, it costs about 587 Australian dollars, and it has only one center in Nigeria, which is Oxbridge Tutorial College in Ikeja, Lagos. But then I dropped this link again for you to check all over the world where you could write. For the TOEFL, it costs 182 US dollars, and it has centers in Abuja, Asaba, Enugu, Ibadan, Jos, Lagos, Owerri, and Port Harcourt in Nigeria. Drop the link again for other countries, and the TOEIC costs about 140 US dollars. There's no center in Africa yet, but it's used extensively in Japan and Korea, and also expanding in other parts of Asia, Europe, and the Americas. So since these other ones are valid, you could write them. But if you happen to be where TOEIC is being written, you could check and write too. Then also you need to know that you will need to verify your credentials, which is important for doctors. The Educational Commission for Foreign Medical Graduates, the ECFMG, does that for you, and I dropped the link there so that you could use this particular link to go through it for the verification. For the nurses, the Commission on Graduates of Foreign Nursing Schools has the CGFNS, with the website there or the link there. That's what you use to verify your credentials. They tell you what you need to submit. So, but then know that your school certificate is needed, your transcript is needed. They would ask for that, for what you need, so you get them. For the medical lab technologists or scientists, you do your verification via the American Society for Chemical Pathologists, the ASCP, and this is the link below too. And the pharmacists, you do it through the Educational Credential Evaluators with the link below. They just carry you directly to the websites that you verify. Please note that for FPG, that's for the pharmacists, and the ASCPI for the medical lab scientists or technologists, your credentials are checked before you even register for the exams. Whereas for USMLE and NCLEX, you can start the exams before the verification of credentials. So please try and do the verification as soon as you can, so that it doesn't delay you when you need to make the next step. So if you have the money, you can start it for the doctors and the nurses, but then for the pharmacists and the medical lab scientists or technologists, you need to verify your credentials first before you're even allowed to write the exams. So note this. Okay, so that's all for getting the license. You need to write the licensing exams and pass them first before that. There are other options. There's another option. The other option is that you could study medicine in the United States. You could study to be a pharmacist in the United States. You could study to be a nurse in the United States. You could study to be a medical lab scientist in the United States too. And then for medicine, you would have to do a pre-medical degree, pre-med degree, first 4 years, which will be covering sciences, something closely related to medicine. Then you write the MCAT, and after you pass, you now do another 4 years of medical training, and the cost could range from $150,000 to as high as $300,000, some even more than that. So it's pretty expensive, but if you have the money, why not? For the pharmacists, you will need to do a 2 to 4 year pre-PharmD degree, and then 4 years PharmD degree itself. The average tuition cost for the entire training, it ranges from $65,000 to $200,000. It might be more, but this is usually the range. For the nursing, there's a nursing program for 3 years, and the cost ranges from $40,000 to $100,000. It could be more depending on where you're schooling. And for the medical lab scientists, 4-year training and accredited school, the average cost could reach around $56,000 too. So if you have the money, this is another thing. You just apply, sit for the relevant exams, and then you start your training. By the time you're done, you get your practicing license. That's another option. After you've gotten your license, now the next step is applying for a job. and immigration. So you can apply for the job yourself or use agencies. There are different agencies for doctors, nurses, pharmacists, lab scientists. These ones are usually employed by organizations to help them scout for workers, especially foreign workers. The work is quite cumbersome, so many of these organizations don't really have the time or the resources to do that, so they just give the jobs to these agencies to do so. And as I said in my earlier video, just be sure, please be very sure before you go and lose money to some so-called agents. And for the doctors, a piece of advice, there's this website called Frida. This is the link where you can choose your residency program. It helps you, it guides you properly. It's very self-explanatory. Go through the link and to guide you properly. That's based on your USMLE score, what specialty to choose and where to choose to. It gives you the schools, which ones are friendly for IMGs, that is the international medical graduates, and which ones are not. So it's important you choose, and then you start sending applications. That's if you're doing yourself. But then if you can use an agent, the agent will choose something good for you based on what you want. So now for the advice, the first is try and get a good score, especially for the USMLE. Get, as I said earlier, get over 210. The pass mark is 196, but then you get the admin score is over 245. That's for step 2. And try and pass. USMLE is valid for 7 years, so you can't retake the exams before it expires. So try and give it your all, and do whatever you can to boost your CV. Versatility, community services, etc. helps. All these things help you very well. If you can do posting at a recognized hospital in the US or any recognized hospital outside the US. That will help you to with your CV. These things are about CVs. And then, very important, try and get the contact of people who have gone through the same process and have been successful. They'll guide you better. No matter how it is, someone who has gone through it is way more important. There are some steps, there's some stress that they'll save you from doing so. So please, there are Facebook group pages for that. You can talk to someone that knows someone that will help connect you with this. So please, it's important that you do that. Get people who have gone through the same process. And then the last advice I will give would be start early. For the medical students, even for those in secondary school, just plan what you want to do with your life. If you want to immigrate, start as early as possible. Many foreign students start writing their USMLE while they're in med school, while most of us waited till we graduated, till we became medical doctors before we started writing these foreign-based exams. But those that knew started quite early. So start early so that you catch up, because by the time you go over there, you might discover you're the old person. The younger people are the ones writing the exams and doing the training with you. So start early, plan early enough, and execute it. Be very disciplined in that. It will help you. That's all for this video. Thank you. I'm done. What do you think I missed? I just gave a brief recap of everything to give you an idea of how it is. Whatever you think is important, whatever sat well with you, whatever didn't sit well with you, whatever is the vision you have, whatever appreciation you have, please let me know in the comment section below. I hope this video was very helpful to you. So thank you very much. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new and you enjoy videos like this. To my returning subscribers, thank you very much. Please share, comment, and then I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.